Okay, yeah. So we're saying the same thing.
No, we're not.
We absolutely are.
We're not.
Okay.
I promise you. Like, the people are either gonna hate me or love me. Like, I'm back, baby. Trump, vote for Trump. If you want to vote for Kakala, well, do so.
Her name's Kamala.
Well, she was also Kakala.
Because if you're gonna say Trump on this channel, you're gonna say Kamala on this channel.
I know. This is also a representation of America and how we should be, and how it was. Honestly, 20 years ago, people understood we have separate ideologies politically, but we can move along and get along and be friends.
Right. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Life as Maya.
Can't focus on me.
Where we talk about all things life, the journey of life, and my favorite thing is where we have guests come on and share all their experiences of life as well. Today, guys, we're going down a little bit of a memory lane. I have Rique, some know him as Eric. Do they know you as Eric?
A lot of people know me professionally.
Which is, as Eric.
As Eric.
Oh, wow. I know him as Rique. And we're going to talk about these two differences very soon. But he is a friend from school who has now made a name for himself in the politics world. We'll leave it at that. And today we're just going to chat. We're going to talk about some hot takes. We're going to introduce him and just let him share his life. How are you feeling, Rique?
Well, I feel like I'm back, baby. Did you miss me?
He is back.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm back, you know, and I'm still the same crazy old me, but accelerated.
Okay, I was gonna say because same crazy old you, but like on a different level.
Elevated, refined, more conservative.
I feel like refined is a good word.
Not just politically, but
guys, so I think a lot of people will be surprised by this video because
I think they will.
They will be surprised by this video because if you know,
sorry guys, I gotta have a
we're
sip.
both very opinionated people, and we don't always agree on everything.
We don't.
But we have somehow managed to put that aside and still be Maya and Rique. So we're just gonna get into it all.
I love Maya so much because she knows I've been crazy for years, but she stayed stayed the test of time? Stayed the course.
Stayed the test of time, that is it.
Yeah.
And we have our little mocktails,
Let's have a cheers before we really get into it. Cheers. And Happy New Year. You'll be seeing a lot of me, you Nova DC people.
Oh my God, you're like my first guest of the year.
Wow, well, what a nice way to
Well,
start
I don't
that.
even know when this is going to get released, but you are going to probably be my first guest.
Love that.
But, okay, let's just get into it, Rique. If you could name this chapter of your life, what would it be?
Oh my God. If I could name like this chapter of my life, I would name this chapter, well, I don't do a lot of reading, so I would call this season of my reality show Manifestation Personified.
Okay, can you explain that?
Everything I say comes true. I believe it. I believe in God and the things that I say I want to do. Many of y'all laughed at. But, you know, I do what I want to do. I stay true.
Who are you talking about? First of all, my supporters didn't laugh at it. So everybody that's watching this video did not. My supporters, he's not talking to my family.
No, I'm not talking about the family. I'm talking about
But, you know, some people who might be clicking on.
If you're from VCU, I'm talking to you.
Okay. No, honestly though, Rique used to go around and be like, I will be the president someday. I'm going to work in government. And we were all just like, I personally believed in him because he was just like, if you know Rique, you know Rique.
But you know, this has been a dream. Like, me thinking these over the top imaginable things is like forever in my life. And like, when I look back, I'm like, you know what? I made people like go to my fake inauguration when I was in high school and middle school for my birthday party. Some that even went to VCU, and I had someone sing to me from school, "Happy Birthday, Mr. President," like Marilyn Monroe. So in my house, there was like a huge picture of me with the presidential seal.
Wait, there's like actual pictures of this too.
Yeah.
You have to send this so we can insert it.
I will.
Please.
Gold frame, beautiful, my beautiful home, me with the red and blue border.
Yeah, I remember these pictures. You know, so I remember these pictures. Like,
and this
literally.
is before I met any of these people. Okay?
Before he met me in college.
Before Obama and Trump, I've been like this. So.
And Joe Biden, don't forget him.
He's unforgettable. He's forgettable.
All right.
No one thinks about
Okay, so what did you name it? What did you say?
that. Manifestation personified.
Manifestation personified. Okay, I
We're in
like
the
that.
season of, you can only manifest truly if you truly believe in yourself and believe in your higher power.
Gotta believe in
Yeah.
God.
Gotta believe
If
in
it's in
God.
His will, it'll happen. I definitely believe in that.
Yeah. Just don't speak it, but my favorite saying is pray and move your feet. Like, don't
Pray
just
and move
pray,
your feet.
but
Oh my
move your
God, I
feet with
love
it.
that. Actually,
Yeah.
should I steal that?
Steal it.
I feel like that should be the name of my chapter because
Pray and move
there
your feet.
is like a lot of unknowns, and the literal thing I'm doing is just praying and like moving accordingly.
You gotta move accordingly. You don't want to get stopped. You don't want to get
No, I'm
yourself
not gonna
stuck.
stop and wait for a big answer. Like, no, I'm gonna pray on it, listen to when He responds, and then move accordingly.
And
I like pray
block
and move
out
your
the
feet.
opinions.
Block
Block
out
out
the
the
opinions.
opinions.
If they're, well, you know that I've had to learn to do that.
There's a lot. I mean, imagine me. Like, so many people would try to downplay what I said I was gonna do, and half of them are living still at home. So I don't know.
Okay, well, let's talk about that. What do you do right now? Oh no, let's wait. Well, let's get into it. So before we get into everything, because y'all, we are getting into it today. Before we get into it, let's do some hot takes, just to
Okay.
like ice break,
Oh, little
loosen up a
icebreakers.
little.
I'm back, baby.
Okay, guys, hot takes is basically.
And I'm
just
saying
gonna
names.
say
If I get upset, I'm gonna say it.
we're not. Okay, you can say names. I'm
Yeah.
gonna bleep them.
I appreciate that. Bleep it, but let me get it out. For
You can get it out, but I'm gonna bleep it.
Yeah.
So they'll just have to be left
But I'm
wondering.
gonna tell there's 3 names I'm not gonna let her bleep out. So I'm prepared for the friendship to be over.
Jesus. Okay, hot takes. So with hot takes, guys, this might be a new segment that I might introduce. But with hot takes, I'm just gonna say a statement, and you just tell me your hot take on it.
Okay, sounds great.
We'll go a little goofy, and then we'll go serious.
Wait, I want to give Maya props because this cocktail, this martini we're drinking, is really good. Really
Just a
good.
little mojito thingy.
Yeah. But I only drink out of martini glasses, and this is perfect.
Yeah, clearly.
Okay.
Aliens are real.
Oh, 1,000%. I had to
You
put my
think
drink down.
aliens are real?
Yeah, I don't think they're green,
Okay.
but
okay.
I do believe that there is other life. I mean, it's been proven actually that there's other organisms like on Mars and stuff. So I don't know. You know, we all thought that like floating balloon was aliens. Of course, it was the Chinese party, but I mean, we shot the balloon down. It was the Chinese.
Oh, the
spying
balloon.
on
Okay,
us,
I thought you were talking about like what we've been seeing lately.
No, even lately. And then do you guys remember that thing in the Miami Mall when like they brought all these cops and they're like, oh, it just was like a little kid fight? No.
I don't remember the
No.
Miami thing. I do remember the balloon. I forgot all about that balloon.
And then there was this other thing. There was like the UFOs in the sky a few
was that
weeks
in
ago
2023?
in New Jersey,
The balloon.
2024.
That was last year.
I
I feel like it was a year before last.
every day is the same day.
Yeah,
to me.
you're right. Because the time just all be going into each other. But
But I do believe in aliens, and also I think aliens walk amongst ourselves because some people are just. Most of the aliens are in the major cities like New York, California.
so you like
Florida.
believe this?
and DC. Oh, 1,000%.
Okay, I think, like you said, I do think there's other life. And if we want to call that aliens, sure. But I don't think it's like the aliens like coming like green,
No, not
four
green.
fingers. Like I don't think it's like weird. The way like Hollywood depicts it,
Exactly.
I don't think that's how aliens are. But if the definition of an alien is like another form of life, yes, I
I
do
do
think
believe that there's like spaceships though. Maybe not a spaceship.
like UFOs. You think they come out?
I
Like,
don't know. They're smart. They're not dumb.
I don't know,
They've
but-
been amongst us for so long.
They're talking about like they actually exist underwater. Like I don't want to know. I don't
I'm
want
like,
to
you know
know.
what? That's like the same way when people are like, Jesus isn't real. Like he didn't actually walk the earth when there's actual evidence that he did.
Well, yeah, I don't think there shouldn't be a question if Jesus is real. I
No,
think
there should never be a question.
the big
Jesus is
debate.
real. And for you heathens,
Rique.
I probably shouldn't have said that. Sorry.
Social media has done more harm than good.
I think it's done more harm, but also I'm 50-50 on that.
I don't know if it's done more harm than good.
It's done more harm. I mean, look at our lives. I feel like we
More
went-
harm than good. Like the debate isn't if it's done harm, but do you think it's done more harm than good?
Doll, the suicide rates have been up more since the social media.
Really?
People in our age range and like younger feel like, oh my God, like if I don't do X, Y, and Z, people are popping babies out left and right. I think all because of social media. And also when you talk in terms of like
Definitely a hot
relationships, Like, hello, you guys think sliding in the DM and like, doing this quick 1-2 and then a baby's there? Or you got people that try to portray this personality on social media, but they're
a whole
living
different person,
and getting
yeah.
evicted online, like, offline. It doesn't add up. So we are now
Right.
made to live and look at other people's standards that are multimillionaires and say, oh my God, I gotta do
I
X,
have to
Y,
get
Z.
there. I have to get there.
And let me tell
in
you,
our 20s, that's
selling
what's
your,
killing
you
people.
know what, on OnlyFans, just to try to make it on that social media life, it's crazy.
Like what people are trying to do, the upkeep with the
To
standards.
upkeep.
Like people are actually, what is it? Living beyond their means.
Beyond their means. And
But if you look on their page, you would not think
There's a
so.
struggle.
And that's why you literally like, you know how everybody's always like, oh, social media isn't real, social media isn't real. Until I actually witnessed how fake social media was, I was like, wow.
well, I think for me, like, I've seen a lot of people personally, influencers, friends, non-friends, like, try to uphold this life or do things purposely because of social media.
Right.
And then I look at you in your home or lack thereof, or I look at you in other situations and it's like, what are you doing? If you look back 20 years ago, maybe even 20 years ago, people that were our age, I mean, of course things advance, but people that were our age back then, they were not as fast and they weren't as invested into other people's lives and how it affects them.
I think that is also, like, you're right. Social media has done a lot of
Yeah.
good as far as, like,
Given the money and the notoriety.
you're right, but and it's very informative. But on the other side of that, there's so much consumption. Like some things I don't think our brain has the capacity to be learning
I
so
don't think our
much,
brain
so
was
much,
meant to hold social media.
and to see so much. Like it's hard to process.
It's so bad, but I love it at the same time.
I do love it at the same
And,
time.
you know-
but I'm over scrolling. Like I am very sad that TikTok's leaving, but I don't
happy.
like. I haven't been like scrolling.
You know I'm happy?
Why?
Because everyone's like TikTok, TikTok, TikTok.
No,
and
because
it's,
it's
no one's like
Instagram-
open a book.
No,
Open a
but think
newspaper.
about it. Instagram. If Instagram leaves, nobody's gonna die. TikTok. We use TikTok as Google. It's
do, but
not.
that's,
It's not
like,
about.
scary.
What do you mean? I can go on TikTok. Quick chicken recipe.
We've
You go on
invested
Google. You're
so
gonna go
much
through
into this,
so
like,
much.
TikTok, but like I think my problem with TikTok is like I'm not gonna get political, but you know in China their TikTok is partially banned and they own TikTok and
Why?
all of their stuff is like educational, actually informational. You go onto our TikTok and it's like craziness.
I mean, yeah.
It's like craziness. I mean, look, I just started really getting into TikTok the last 6 months, like really like watching
Really?
TikTok. Yeah, and that's why I can never really like your stuff sometimes because I'm like I'm never on it,
You're right.
you know. But like,
But I
then-
post the same thing I post on TikTok or Instagram. So
Okay, that's
no
fine.
excuse for you to say.
well, I'm never on Instagram as much.
I don't be scrolling, so I can't even blame you because I don't scroll
I
as
don't
much.
scroll. I go to
look
my
on
3
like a little
blogs.
stories. I look a little bit, but like I don't doom scroll as much,
Yeah.
which I'm very grateful for.
Also, I do want to say this. I think social media does make people like affected, like upset, bullied, and
You're right. I actually
they
didn't know what I
kill
was gonna
themselves
say.
more than anything.
Yeah, I didn't know I was gonna say going into it,
mean,
but
part of it's,
there
like,
is a lot
not
of
social
harm.
media.
We're going next. Next hot take. These are supposed to be like rapid fire. Voting should be mandated and paired with a basic knowledge test.
Wait. Say that all again, please. Voting should be paired with a knowledge test. So you want voting?
Voting should be mandated, meaning
Like mandatory.
everyone who is above the voting age should be able to vote.
We see who's a Democrat here. You
But-
have a mandate.
But you love a mandate. Shut up. But at the same time, like there should be a test to even.
Okay, so let's just pause real quick, and we're gonna make this real quick. I'm gonna shut it all down.
Okay. Go ahead, because
Voting is a right.
voting was mandated.
And also, you saying a test with voting.
Wait. You're acting like this is my hot take.
Whose
I'm
hot take
giving
is it?
you a hot
Well, you
take.
just said a mandate. Okay. Well, if y'all believe that, this is what I say to that. If there was a test with voting, you're bringing us right back to Jim Crow. And those voting things that everyone's like, oh my God, people didn't vote. Well, guess what? You're voting now, stop complaining. So if there was a test, some people are just incompetent and some people are smart. But you know what I say? Your vote is your vote, and the government or a political party should not get in the way of what your vote is for your life. And if you want to vote for Trump, vote for Trump. If you want to vote for Kakala, well, do so.
Her name's Kamala.
Well, she was also cackling.
Because if you're
all the
gonna
time.
say Trump
Don't.
on this channel, you're gonna say Kamala on this channel.
I know her name, Kamala, but she was also
Thank
she was just always laughing, and she's a.
Wouldn't you
beautiful
want your
woman.
president to be happy? First of all, Trump be laughing.
No, but not like her. You
He
ask
don't
her
be
a question,
cackling.
and then she's like, "Ma'am, is the fires okay?" Why did you send so much money to Ukraine?
You're done.
It's just not good. So that's what. You don't want to test
Okay,
for
voting's
voting,
a right,
you're gonna
and we
send us
shouldn't
back to
mandate it.
Jim
That's a
Crow.
good hot take. I don't think you're right. When you put it in the
But
way,
also
voting's a
imagine how
right.
many people would fail that test.
Exactly. So maybe half of the votes wouldn't even count because some people just vote for certain presidents just for lack thereof. But
I also think that people do vote. I think now more than ever, what we saw, and I'm going to be done, is people are voting on message. Yeah, Joy was all great and stuff, but I think when people who are middle class and under were looking at us, I don't care about the Joy right now. I care if my grocery bill is getting lower. I care if my taxes are getting lower.
well, I hope that actually happens.
We'll have hope in us.
Us?
Have hope in them.
Okay. All right. That ends the segment of hot take. You're very opinionated.
I got a lot of opinions,
You have a lot of opinions.
but a lot of my
But
opinions are
you could,
based by facts.
You stand on your opinions and you have a really good way of persuasion.
Thank you. I like to persuade people because. Oh, we'll save that for another time.
Yeah, let's save it. Anyways, okay, Rique, let's just get into. Okay, I feel like before we get into can we talk about how we met?
Yes, give them a background.
Let's talk about how we met, how our life was then.
Well, my mind does not remember the first moment that we met.
I
but
do.
I think I do. Was it in his room?
Yeah,
Okay, then I remember.
I remember. Okay, so this is. Oh my god.
Was this the first moment?
This was the very first moment.
Okay,
I met
yeah.
was we were in that
was all
room,
blurred.
and you and your roommate, we were in the hallways, very very loud.
My roommate was freshman year Mitch,
Okay, so no,
Mitch,
you were just with another friend that we used to talk
our
to,
mutual friend.
and they were in the hallways, and they were just loud. But so were we. Sorry.
Loud?
We were-
I'm never loud.
Not loud, but we were
I probably was. Well,
we
back
were
then, yeah.
laughing, cackling
Cackle.
our
Yeah.
vice president, and we were just giggling, but it was after quiet hours. So the girl that we were with, we were just bring him in your room.
Empty.
Ew. Unfortunately, drinking special juice,
Yeah.
and I had it in my hand, and I offered you some.
You did, and that was a lock, sign, sealed, and
And
delivered.
once
from
I
me.
offered him some, he was like, yeah. And I literally waterfalled it for him. And then ever since then, we would just
Bacardi or
chat.
Svedka. And it was it was a
No.
flavored Svedka. No, I'm telling you.
Oh, it was.
It was the flavored
Ew,
Svedka?
I used to love that.
Was
Ew.
it blue and purple, or was it the
It was
yellow
the pink and
orange?
yellow.
The
It was pink, yellow, and orange.
Strawberry
It was like the
lemonade?
strawberry lemonade.
Yo.
Ew.
And it's sad that I remember that, but that was
Yeah,
a
it was
moment.
good. First time we met.
Yeah.
And then from there on, we would just see each other all the time in the dorm room and just speak. I don't even know if I ever said this out loud, but when I saw you, I'd be like, oh my God, I want to be friends with him.
I'm like, well, that's what I said.
Because you're just fasting. I mean,
Fasting? I've never fasted. Look, I'm so skinny. If I fasted, don't do
no,
nothing.
you were just so funny. You seemed bubbly. You had such great personality. And I was like, I like this guy.
Thank you.
Little
what
did
I
I know what
I thought she was level-headed.
I didn't know what I was about to step into. That's the truth.
What I always tell a lot of the people in my life that stayed around is it does take a special person
It
to
does.
be my friend.
Because the thing is, me, just who I am.
Yeah.
When I like someone and we connect, you can look at my array of friends. They're all super, super different. All
They
of my
are.
friends are super different.
She's very diverse.
Very diverse. And some people can look and be like, why would you be friends with him? But I'm like,
Do people ask you
you
that?
have to see. I've seen below your surface. I've seen below your surface.
And some people you should say that I was very
What?
you just said surface, not surface level, very
Dynamic. No.
no, it will come to me.
Ricky's
There's more than just
he's
the surface with
multiverse.
me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
there's just so much more than the
But I
surface
want to
and
know
what
who
you
was
let 'em.
questioning about me when, you got some questionable friends.
No. I
Well,
had.
no. Well, some of them, I was there.
I had.
Back in the day.
Can you say had?
Well, you're still friends with a few of them.
I'm no longer friends with anybody that is questionable.
So no one should ever be questioning me.
But how do you know it's that person questioning me? So
I can think
hush.
of a few other ones.
We all have questionable past, Rique. So don't hold it. Can you just get back into the story?
Get back into the story. Sorry,
Again,
guys.
are you defensive right now? What's going on?
Well, I'm just, my biggest thing is like from college. I think the takeaway was like, don't judge a book by its cover. Those people didn't really know me.
You shouldn't judge books by their covers either.
I only judge the book after I've read a few pages.
Oh, we're gonna need to read the whole book. You can't read a few pages and judge someone.
I
So
read the back of the book,
proven.
like the summarization.
Oh, brother. Okay, guys. So we met. Oh my God, we actually met each other freshman year. Was friends all the way up to senior year. 4 years straight.
2018.
We met 2018. We met 2018. We met in GRC.
I kind of forgot what year we went into.
So we met in 2018, and we were friends up until 2022.
Wait, how?
Oh my God, but we had falling
2025.
out.
Yo, you and I definitely had some huge falling outs. But I feel like our falling outs always came back around as like, Rique, you're crazy, and I can look by this. And for you, the same.
I mean, I probably was never like. I don't think it was. I can honestly say I don't think any of our falling out was ever my fault. Ever.
Well, denial is
And
a hell
that's
of a
not
drug.
me being like prideful or ego.
So would you say, in your opinion, it was on me? Because for me, this is what I don't believe that. Shemaya back in the day,
Talk about
she
it.
might not be as opinionated now, but you used to be a little opinionated.
I can't even. They're probably not important because most people I've ever fallen out with, I can remember the exact situation.
No, ours were not. It would be
was
like,
never
oh my
like-
God, why did you say this? Or like, I'm like, girl, I didn't say it behind your back. I said it. I cussed you out to you. So why are you mad at that?
So is that why it would be like that?
I feel we've had some like that. I
Okay.
also think that we've had people help ignite some of them.
For sure.
And I think that also played
Great
a part.
verbiage,
But
great verbiage.
I would not specifically say that they were all my fault. I would say
I would probably overreact it.
55% was my fault, and the
Okay.
rest was yours.
I can accept that.
Yeah, and I'll
because
take that.
Of the percentage, there's like what, 1 or 2 big falling downs. Okay, so let's just talk about you.
Okay.
Your name's Eric, and
Yeah.
you said that's the professional version of you, but then there's also Rique. Can we like talk about those two? Because I know you as Rique.
Yeah. So, if you guys don't know, my memoir is coming out. Eric versus Rique, the story of manifestation.
Love it.
I think for me, Eric and Rique is like a duality. Like, it's all me. Not like a schizophrenia moment, like, oh my God, it's
Different
bipolar.
personalities. Okay.
But like, Rique, a lot of family called me that. It's a part of my name. Eric is my first name, born into this world, Eric. But I think, as more people started calling me Rique and I started really exploring like all my personalities and like who I really am and owned my confidence of like, I am a bubbly person, I like to have a good time, but like I also know business and how to be serious and professional. I also came into that friend group with a lot more class than a lot of people. And I don't want to toot my own horn saying that, but I'm sorry. It was the fact. It was just the fact. It was true. I came on gold forks. I'm like, you guys are eating on plastic.
The gold forks, please.
I think Eric is the more refined and understanding. Still, Rique's refined, but Eric is, let's get down to business. This is my paycheck. This is my life. This is my 9 to 5.
Okay.
Rique is more of like I'm on a reality show. I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
I'm having fun with my friends.
Right.
No filter. But that's authentically me. They're both authentically me, but like they
Duality.
merge all the time. But it's like that duality.
No,
and
yeah,
like,
and they do merge. You can see the two merge.
yeah, and I feel like now more than ever in my life, like 2024, 2025, it's like Eric and Rique are like the same person.
Okay.
Because like even in my like professional space, like I don't ball up. I know when to be quiet, but I also know when to speak up.
Okay.
And being very few people having a seat at the table sometimes, you can't bottle everything in. Sometimes it's
Gotta
good,
speak up.
but you gotta speak up. And I think some people, like when they first meet me, they're like, oh my God, he's so shy. No, babes, you're meeting Eric. I'm not
Wait till
shy.
you meet Rique.
I'm observing. I'm learning how I need to maneuver in situations. And, Eric knows the full place setting, left to right. Okay.
Got it.
Eric knows how to put that pinky up, how to put the I know the drill.
Okay.
white glove. Rique is more of a very same person, let the hair down a little bit, but also don't cross me.
Don't play with me.
You're probably getting a good combination tonight, y'all.
A great combination.
But Rique is like, take me to a party right now, take me to the club right now, and you're gonna see the real.
Eric is like, I'm here for business. What do we need to talk about?
Indeed. And I think I'm very, very happy of Rique in my college days, because I think now looking back, it helped my confidence, like boost it, of like, now I don't take BS from people. Like, I'm more assertive and confident. And, you know, I'm a little guy, so it's like I don't fight. So you gotta be very direct.
With the words.
With the words.
Okay.
And, yeah.
So we've talked about, like, a lot of your business aspects. Without getting too deep into what do you do, what is this this Eric that has to show up in a very business manner? What do you do?
In a business? Well, I wake up as Eric every day.
Okay.
Enrique.
What are you currently doing post-college?
Okay, so like right
3
now.
years post-grad.
3 years post-grad.
Jesus Christ.
So a little bit about me. I went to VCU. I was at the art school, studied fashion merchandising and marketing. I dropped my poli-sci situation.
We both dropped poli-sci.
We did. And that's why I think also first kind of bonded us in a way, because we were both in poli-sci. I've always had a passion for entertainment world, fashion, and politics. And I heard a lot of times, like, you can't do those combinations, it won't work.
Yeah.
And my grandma was event planner, had her own event firm. And looking at my life and how everything played off, I didn't want to get rid of those passions, because if it's a passion, you don't feel like you're working.
Right, exactly.
So after college, before in college, I had an internship with Governor Youngkin. And then I stayed there, I got hired on. I did his outreach initiative. I planned a lot of events.
As a fashion merchandising
in and outside of the executive mansion throughout Virginia. And I would do so much for them, events, and bring them to the table. And then from there, you know, after a while, I love our governor so much, and he's done so amazing things to make Virginia the best place to work, live, and raise a family.
Governor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, Youngkin. And from there...
I know he's a Republican, but yeah.
He is. And so what? You know, us as African Americans and mixed Americans...
He's trying to get that tax down, so can't blame him for that.
He's doing a lot to do that. He's trying his hardest. We all started as Republicans. So they're the ones that freed the slaves. But anywho, from there I transitioned on, and I took a hope of faith to move jobs and work... in fundraising and doing amazing events, sometimes multi-million-dollar events.
Wow.
For a campaign. I moved to Palm Beach, Florida. And then from there, you know, I'm always a part of a winning team. So we win, and then now I'm in DC and working on inaugurations and beautiful moments for people. Again, raising money, but based on the events that I put forth. So when I look back at my life, I'm like, those fashion did pay off. My grandma's event planning did pay off.
It all came into fruition.
So now I can combine the things that I want to do.
Combine the two.
And I still have those outreach skills where I can touch communities at the same time and bring people to the table. And
no, that's nice.
I love it so much.
It's crazy how things play out. So,
you gotta believe in yourself.
I mean...
And that's why I'm so happy to be your friend, because I see the same thing for you. I'm gonna cry.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
2025. It's happening. It's not gonna happen.
It is happening. It's happening.
But that's what you gotta say. You gotta change your language. I had to practice that. You don't want to say I'm gonna. You're already doing. You don't want to say it's gonna, because baby, it's already happening.
It's happening. So with this job, I mean, any job in politics, no matter which side you're on, it could be hard, and it can be difficult to manage your professional life and your personal life. And you aren't a person who, like, I will say you can be very opinionated even online. So during these times, and where these people who you went to school with who have their opinions, like, how are you balancing the two of having these opinions but also still having to, like, deal with sometimes the pushback that comes from saying your opinion online?
You know, sometimes it actually really is hard.
I'm sure.
I've lost over 400 of followers. I've lost friends.
You've lost over...
Honestly, I'm not going to say this. I never lost friends, because if you were never a friend if you could get rid of someone based on
politics,
what I believed. I think the shocking thing was I've never shied away from my beliefs. You knew my beliefs when you met me.
When I met you, exactly.
I think the difference is wow, he's doing what he said he was going to do, and he believes these things. So now it's real. It's hard, but I think when you face adversity and and this is no joke, people always coming at you for either being too crazy or this or that or too bougie. I've had the most hate from people that look like you and I. No one else on either side of the parties.
Well, that's because people who don't look like us usually isn't on the other side.
Well, before they knew, they were already like, it was the whole, you're too bougie, you're too this,
you're too that.
Well,
yeah.
I'm sorry, talk to my family.
Yeah.
But I think for me, having the faith of staying true to myself and not allowing others' opinions to face
from that.
What I'm going into, if I allowed you all, and I'm saying you because you probably are on the other side, alter my thought process, I wouldn't be where I am today. And there's not a whole lot of people on my side that look like me. If I was on the other side, how many people would give me that same opportunity or chance? Sometimes it's like you clearly saw something in me because you did not have to pick me. And that's very evident in what we see. So I think for me, it's like, how do I handle it? I know not only am I getting a paycheck, but I do a good job. I know that when I wake up in the morning, I have my family that still supports me. They don't agree with everything. And I have a core center of friends that I could talk about these things. I know when I was getting death threats.
You were getting death threats?
Yeah, I got a few. It brought me down.
You did not get death threats.
I did.
Can we read it for you?
No.
No.
They were reported to the police and to the security at my office at the time. But to get those death threats and stuff, for me, I try to understand both sides of the aisle. My goal in life is to help the people, to expand all of our not our personalities, but our perspectives, and to have understanding. I'm just here to wanting to help and recognize that we need to all have differences, but commonality. We all want the best stuff for each other, but we need to find common ground. So how do I deal with it?
How do you deal with it? You're what?
I'm living life. And also it's how can you hate me when you still living in X, Y, and Z, and I'm living the life? I can't take hate from people under me. So it's it just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up to me. And also I deal with it because I'm wow, I look at my life and I'm if God didn't want me to be here, guess what? He would have not put me on this path to actually win and to do what I said I was going to do or want to do.
Right.
I've come closer now to this dream than anything ever in my life. And we're just starting. So when I told you guys 2036
we heard
I'll
you
be
starting.
president.
That's what I'm just what's going on?
This pathway makes me even more
2036 you'll be
confident
president.
that I will be running for president.
You guys heard it
And
here
winning.
first. Exclusive. Life is Maya.
Actually, that isn't exclusive. That we can say that publicly.
We
All
can
your
say it?
subscribers that I'm going to run for the president. Well, we all know that.
Yeah, we know he's gonna run for the president one day, but
Or at least be a first gentleman. I'll take that too.
this is what I'll
So if
say
there's
about
anyone out there that, wants
First
to make
what?
First gentleman.
What do you mean?
I'll marry someone who's the president or right before, so I can be the first gentleman.
Oh, I thought you were saying you're gonna be the first gentleman. I thought you were gonna say you're gonna be the first guy president.
No. That's all we've had.
Come on, we've had.
But I think we're
many-
coming close to breaking that barrier. So.
Oh, for sure. We've
Yeah.
had 2 women run.
And this last one, did far better than the other one. So.
Yeah, actually. So.
Yeah, I think we're close.
Times are changing.
Times are changing.
And the first woman was white. Now the second one was black.
No, she's also very incompetent.
This is my opinion of the whole situation. When I do get questions of,
I want to know about those questions because what people don't understand and see, I don't want to get emotional. That what I'm doing is I'm not going to say that to toot my own horn, but it's a dangerous vibe out there. These people that are doing their little X, Y, and Z, you're not getting death threats. You're not being looked at in the public and in private of what you're doing because you're the one of few people to take the chance and say, you know what, I'm going to put my hat in the ring. Also, I don't understand when people get so shocked. I was working for Youngkin, a Republican governor. Virginia hasn't had a Republican in over a decade. So, I'm a part of winners. I'm not going to do nothing that's going to lose.
My opinion is basically what Rique just said. I knew who I was getting the day I met you. You never shied away from your views, what you believe, and I don't think you agree with everything.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't think you agree with everything from either parties. Can I say that?
I agree with more stuff on the party that I'm a part of.
Of course, but I'm saying you don't agree with everything.
No, I mean, I don't agree with everything.
I think
but
people who's either or party, this, especially this election, you can admit that both had flaws.
But, well, I don't know.
I'm trying to make this better.
Yeah.
Regardless, this is what I'm going to
No,
say.
I'll say this. Both did have flaws. But what I tell people is look at your life and how you were raised. I was raised in the church. I was raised in a household with family that loved me, cared for me, supported for me, did my extracurriculars, and poured into me the education, poured into me the necessities to succeed. My grandpa was the first black vice president.
He has been.
Of a bank at the time sovereign, but like Bank of America.
Oh, okay.
You know, so like.
You have always been conservative.
Yeah, but my viewpoints are conservative.
No, I'm saying
in terms of
like
like how I carry my life.
Yeah, exactly. That's who you've been. That's how you've carried yourself. That's who you've been. So like, I don't understand why this go around. It's like a shocker to everybody.
Yeah, because
I'm like, guys. Maybe it's a shocker because you're working for the team, but maybe
I was working for the team
even
3 years ago.
past the Joe Biden election, when we had a certain president, you were walking around with the hats.
Well, I had an Obama hat too, and George Bush and everyone else. I think what shocks me more is
you've been who you've been. So
Yeah.
just because you're posting it on Instagram now, I think everybody's like, oh my God,
Like, this is
how
real.
could you? You guys still talk to the. I'm like, do you guys genuinely think we sit around and talk about politics every day?
But also, like, what I want people to understand is, like, know me and know who I am. And
And there's so
beyond
much
just
more
that.
beyond politics.
And we've talked before. We actually also, on different sides, we agree on a lot. But we
Right.
also disagree on some things.
Right.
But that's also, like, for me, like, am I going to cut out my friends and family because they oppose my viewpoints?
We agree on some things, we disagree on other things, but guess what? If all of our conversations were about politics, we probably wouldn't be friends. But because there's more to you and there's more to me and there's just more to friendship in general, of course I'm not going to take a crumb of what you see him post on the internet and be like,
And it's really a crumb.
Let's literally a crumb.
Because half the time it's my martinis and me living life.
Right. So I don't know. That's just I'm so sorry. Even when like the day of like I'll just say it, but like the election day, where all these people who suddenly care so much about politics came out, I just sat back and just laughed a little bit.
I laughed.
So I'm like, where's the rage now?
That was the scary part. That's when I got some of the threats.
Yeah.
Was
Oh, that day
night.
people were angry, which rightfully so, but
Rightfully so, in their own regard, I suppose.
in
but
their own regard. If you don't
I
get
know-
what you wanted, of course you're upset.
But then, you know what I get upset about is, like, it's not my. If the other party won, it's not in my character to sit there and randomly message you.
Oh no, I wouldn't.
And like
I wouldn't.
start going in on you.
Well,
it's not
I
in my
didn't,
character
actually.
to like do those things. So then I look at these people on any other side that do that. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
were you even a good person, or were you just a person that like, oh my God, Rique, you're funny, like very surface level, but you
Yeah.
don't know me. And also, many people don't understand the reasons why I am like a conservative person. You know.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's literally judging a book by its cover. And even some people are going to see this video and be shocked. Like, what
They're
are
gonna be
those two sitting next to each other talking about?
But this is also a representation of America and how we should be, and how it was. Honestly, 20 years ago, people understood we have separate ideologies politically, but we can move along and get along and be friends.
Right.
We both want the same goal for our country. We both want the same type of things. It's just about the route that we both decide to go on.
And how to get there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like, do you think
and
that
at the
I
end of the day,
want
we're both not in that
Israel
Oval
and
Office.
Palestine doing this? I don't believe in all this. The
No, neither
innocent
of us,
people
yeah.
being killed. Like, it's sick. So for me, it's like, don't sit there and try to link me to either one section of a party when you've known me for years. Okay,
Yeah.
you've known me and how I act. And I think that's the most hurtful, you know? It's a very...
Well, I think just in general, when it comes to politics, people treat it like sports, and it's like, if you're on this side, you have to believe in this, and if you're on this side, you have to believe in this. I think
also,
even
I think
being...
a lot of black people know their history, even though people question my history, if they did the research on their own and how black people were brought up, it was based on... Conservatism is religion, wanting freedom of speech, and we're going to take the more social fluff out. Freedom of speech, families in the home, and making sure that there are less taxes that can support a family. Those are like the basics. I'm not saying right now currently, but those are the basics. That's how people were brought up back in the day. When I talked to my grandparents, they always told me they were fiscally on the other side Republican and socially Democrat. Only socially because they lived different times at that time. But when you start making a check, you'll be voting a different side, I assure you that. They might want an everyday person versus a billionaire. But this is the thing, and this is what I tell people. His message resonated with more people that were not up there, and they, in their minds, have made it, this man will support us. I'll take Jimmy Carter.
We're making it very clear who you
Rest in
for.
peace, Jimmy Carter. He came out of the works in jeans when he made his announcement and was like, I am for... No, I don't agree with all his policies, but I think he was a good representation of what a president could be.
Right.
He was humble. He was a true man of faith. He came down there in those jeans. But what resonated for people, although he was...
It's like he's relatable.
He's very relatable. People talk in private, and you know this, and don't act like you don't know this. People talk like how Donald Trump talks in private, and you know we have. So it's like when people
Don't we anything?
Oh, we have. I hate when people act as if, like, you know, and I'm not here to this.
I don't talk the way Donald Trump does.
Well, anybody, but
we all say things that we wouldn't want in the public eye.
Exactly. But we say it, and I think people see some of those things, and they're like, you know what? I talk about this in my home. I say this in my home. I'm not gonna get into too much of it, but
yeah, I get what you're saying though.
You know,
oh my God, can I like look for something really quick? I literally have it labeled as Rique and I, November 5th, 2018. But this is like, okay, so when you guys ask why we're friends, I want you to know these are the type of conversations of why we're friends, because we can disagree and leave there and be like, what you want to eat?
Am I saying bad stuff?
No. We're like. I'm not gonna play the whole thing.
18. Oh my God, things have changed since then.
I'm just gonna play a little clip.
I feel like civil rights is exaggerated. When you say stuff like that, it irks me.
Okay, but I also had someone else who came in and said the same thing.
No. But he had a different reason for saying it. You just said, "Oh, I just feel like civil rights is like
the things you were
oh,
saying.
if I was a police officer, it's my life over yours." Oh,
You don't believe that?
No. Okay.
Is their life over yours?
Half of the situations, it's never been a place. It's been in a position where a police's life has really been.
Do you still believe this?
Never. Right. All the people who have been killed by police officers have been found with no weapons. How is a police life in danger?
I should be shooting them. Oh no, very bad.
Okay.
But
I want y'all to hear what I just said.
if I'm a cop, right, and I'm standing here, and if your hands are up and you make a drastic move to your pocket,
You're going to automatically shoot?
I'm gonna have to do something.
Not tase, not nothing. But
Whatever is first.
I'm going to shoot.
I'm gonna do what to protect
Okay,
you.
you asked me.
Okay, we're gonna go. What are you talking about?
I stand by some of those statements because let me tell you something. I'm sorry. And look, I love our brave men and women in the uniform fire department. I'm praying for you, California, and our police.
Actually.
You guys have helped me many times, especially in Richmond. But let me tell you something. I know how to act when I get pulled over. I've never been pulled over. And I'm not saying that everyone does, and I understand. And we
like the police who went into that lady's house all on recording and shoot her for no reason. That's crazy.
Well, I know when things are wrong, it's wrong.
That was wrong.
Well, which scenario are you talking about?
I don't. I'm so
Is it Breonna
sad.
Taylor?
No, I'm talking about recently when she was like, "I rebuke you in Jesus' name," and they shot her.
That was wrong.
With the boiling.
When she was doing her water,
yeah.
That was wrong. I'm the first to say when things are wrong. But what I want people to realize, especially in our community, is we can't have that same back and forth that others can maybe have sometimes. And for
of course,
me,
there's a way we need to like learn how to code switch, and it's sad.
and we do, and it might be, but let me tell you something.
It's
Life
the
is
truth.
life,
It's the
and
reality,
I don't care.
yeah. But a lot of those situations, they, like, there was like George Floyd. He wasn't acting a fool. Sandra Bland, she wasn't acting a fool. Breonna Taylor wasn't either. She was asleep. So what are we talking about?
I'm not going to talk about them all, but I'm going to talk about. I'm just going to say this. I personally believe police brutality, when someone is innocent, they have nothing on them, and they're in a state of, oh my God, I just woke up, that is wrong.
Exactly.
But you have to put yourself, and I'm saying this from someone who in my family who's a police officer, and someone that looks like us. You are also fearful. Although you're a cop and you feel like you're macho and you have X, Y, and Z on you, you're also fearful because you don't know what the other person has on you. So if you are stopped or in a moment, you do what they say to do. And if you do those extra moments, they don't always know or recognize what's going on.
Right.
And I'm not saying what happens, happens, but what I'm saying is you need to be cognizant because it is your life and it is their life that they're at this point when you guys are seeing eye to eye, everyone is thinking about their life. And that police officer wants to go home to that family, and the innocent person or guilty person wants to go to theirs.
Oh my God, we are yapping. But
look,
I agree.
I take a stand with police brutality, and it makes me very emotional. I'm not gonna say fearful because I do love my police officers. I love them so much. They've helped me.
The thing is, I will never I'm not the person who's ever gonna say we don't need police. We don't need no.
Dismantling the police.
And if I'm in an issue, trust me, 911. Hello.
So quick.
No, I will not. And I've run into police officers of all different races, and I will say all of my experiences have been pleasant. Thank God. But will I say every experience I've walked into I haven't been fearful? No. Now, this is what I'm going to say to your point.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, be cognizant. Yes, be cautious. I think when you are dealing with law enforcement, whether you called them, whether they stopped you, whether you're just in an interaction with them, I think you should be very cognizant of your movements. You should be very cognizant of what you say. Those things are true. But we can't say that that's the end all be all.
No,
because
I'm not
even
saying
if
that.
you take all the right precautions, you could still literally not walk away. And I think that's the issue. And I think when we have someone who's trying to come in and say, "Oh, immunity,"
Who's trying to come in?
You.
I believe in immunity because you know why?
Immunity for police officers. We're not getting into it because if we can't keep it in, we're not going to get into it.
I'm just gonna say this. I've also seen innocent police officers risk their lives and be shot and killed or beaten up, especially the ones. But we need to, as people, we need to be cognizant, but we also need to understand, don't give that assertiveness and that whole, be calm.
Okay,
be gracious.
we've already agreed on that. That when you are dealing with law enforcement, there is a way you should carry yourself. Yes.
And I will also say this.
I think there is a way that anybody, no matter what race, gender, or color you are, hold yourself to a certain standard when dealing with law enforcement. But do I agree that because these people are putting their lives on risk, that they should be excused for any type of behavior? No. And I'll leave it at that.
I believe in law and order. And I think
immunity is not law and order, because if immunity was...
Well, immunity has been there in the past, but, you know, it's been taken away.
Good.
I believe in law and order. And
that's how they usually go when we disagree.
But if this stays in, that is a perfect example of, like, I don't feel like I need to hate you for that stance. And I hope the same in return.
I don't hate you, but I am very interested in why you would think, like, police officers when they...
I don't know. I think
if you
for
got
me,
stopped
like,
right now and you got arrested and there was no search or nothing, he says, you smell like alcohol, I'm arresting you. No breathalyzer, no test, no nothing.
Well, he couldn't say that because you know why? I Abraham everywhere when I'm drinking. I don't...
Okay, so say you get out of an Uber, you're not even driving, but a police officer says, he looks suspicious, let me arrest him. You go to jail.
Oh, he asked you a question.
You fight, but what if he doesn't do this, right?
Well,
and
then he's wrong.
And then you get released, and then you decide to sue him. But he has immunity. You can't sue him. You can't do anything. Do you think that's okay? That's law and order to you?
But you can.
How? If he has immunity, if he's covered by the law, how can you sue him?
Covered by the law, but immunity. There's other stipulations a part of it. Move on.
I hope there is. No, if there's stipulations, then I'm I'll read
You gotta
up
hold
on it.
people accountable, and that's my stance.
And I will read. Yeah, you have to hold the
if you're
people
a person,
accountable. Both
you need to
people.
hold people accountable.
Both sides.
And that's my side. That's my stance.
I'm
That's
saying
all gonna
both
say.
sides though.
Well, all I'm saying, that's all I'm saying, is you need to hold people accountable. If
Absolutely.
you're wrong,
If you're a police
You're
officer
wrong.
that's wrong, you need to be held accountable. If you're a civilian that's
didn't
wrong,
say that.
you need to be held accountable.
I didn't say that.
If you're a police officer and you're wrong, you need to be held accountable.
Tread lightly. I didn't say that, girl. What I
No,
said
no, no,
was...
no. This is coming from Shamaya. If
Okay,
you're
okay,
a
yeah.
police officer, that is wrong. You need to be held accountable. If you're a civilian, that is wrong. You need to be held accountable. And I'll
And
leave it at
coming
that.
from Eric and Rique, if you do wrong, you need to be held accountable.
Okay, yeah. So we're saying the same thing.
No, we're not.
We absolutely are.
We're not.
Okay.
I promise you. Well, I have a question for you, actually.
I have an answer.
What would you tell the people has been the biggest lesson from like our friendship and like with our differences, with the things that we've gone through? And I think college is because not a lot of people make it out of college, but like it's a very pivotal point of
Your life, for sure.
how you learn other people, not just like as friends, but
It feels like a
foes and other
social
people.
experiment.
It actually really does. Like a Squid Game
You just
almost.
put people in a campus together and you say learn, but also like be social. It's
be
actually
social.
crazy, and network and all these things. But yeah.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm giving them a lot of side profile. Let me look at them.
Yeah. I will say learning from Rique and I's friendship. I can say a lot, but what I will say, like, I feel like this will encompass it all. I had a very, obviously, when I met Rique, I was 18. So I did have a very, like, I was young, and I had a very ignorant way of thinking, I would say.
She
Like,
hid a lot of stuff from me.
okay, well,
Sorry.
like, please. I will say, for me, especially going in with poli sci, I was like, this is how I think. No one's going to change this in college. This is what I will stand on. Rique definitely had like an impact on like changing my view of things. Wait. Let me switch that up a little.
Opening up your mind.
Opening up my mind. Like, I felt like because I'm on this side, this is what I have to think, this is what I have to agree with, and this is what I have to be. But Rique showed me a lot of like, you could be on this side, but like, are you open to listening to these things? And I just think, also like, never thought I would be friends with someone who had like very different thinking of me, very different lifestyle. Like me, I was Southern Belle, came in very like humble beginnings, and just honestly didn't see like me. I was just like, I just want to live a life where I can afford my bills, live a little good, and work. No. Rique was probably one of the first people in my life that showed me like, no, there's just so much more life, and
But it's
there's a
okay to
luxury
want it,
side,
too.
and it's okay to want it.
Because you know why? Because you deserve it. And that's my
Exactly.
biggest pet peeve with people in our communities, is I feel like people don't feel like they deserve it.
It's the mindset thing. It is a mindset
Yeah.
thing, because I was one of those people who would frown upon people wanting certain things. So I'm just like, why do you need all that? Why do you need all that? But it was because I didn't think that I could get it. Yeah. So it's like I frowned upon other people thinking that way until you get out that mindset and you're like, actually, no, I could accomplish that. And you should too. And we all should have this mindset where we can accomplish it and we all see each other at the top. So I think that's the biggest impact of our friendship
Yeah, I love
from
that.
our life. What about you?
I don't want to cry. I'm a very emotional person, y'all.
You should cry, yes. He gets so teary-eyed.
I do a
so
lot.
quick.
I do. I think a lot of people think I'm like the B word or like a RBF a lot of the times. Like, just don't care. But like, I'm very in tune with my emotions. I cry probably every other day.
Oh my God. Very emotional.
I think the biggest lesson I've learned from our friendship is stability in terms of you have hiccups, but I think when it's true,
It comes
it comes back, And it's never a point of cattiness. I don't feel like I have to be catty with you, which is very shocking. And, you know, I had a friendship for over a decade that I despise that I even had. But it shows me that, like, yeah, I'm not putting you on that pedestal because I'm kind of scarred from that. But it shows that...
You should put me on that pedestal, but I get what you're saying.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes the ones that you do have head bumps but are still in your circle, you need to cherish them more because those are people that will not cross you in a sense of try to break your knees and break you down. Another lesson is, you know, I love how centered you are and connected to the Lord. And it has secretly motivated me.
Secretly?
Well, like when I say secretly, like, you know, I do go to church when I can. I don't make it every Sunday motion. But I do what I need to do to have my connection. But also seeing your progression in life. And I've always known where I want to go, but seeing someone in our friend group actually excel and do the things that you've wanted to do has been so rewarding to like witness, because it's like, wow, I wasn't her friend for no reason. Just because I'm tired of being friends with bums. But like
Somebody's going to get offended by that.
I don't care.
Okay.
Because the ones that are my friends are not bums.
Okay, got it.
Point.
Yeah, that makes...
Final lesson is...
Oh my God, I feel like I should have had a better answer now.
No, I feel like yours was so good.
You liked it? Okay.
Yeah, it did make me teary-eyed. Is you can hear things about people, you can form things, opinions, and you can let other people like in your ear. But I like that you've not allowed that to is the word dismay? I like the fact that you've said steadfast and true to yourself and our friendship. And you know who I am. I think you know my heart. And I think it's allowed me to also look at other people, honestly, our college friendships, and say, you know, I can accept people where they are. And that's one thing that I've really been trying to do, is accepting people where they are.
Where they are, yeah. You have to.
But what I'm not going to do, okay,
is excuse.
if I'm going to accept where you are and you start doing some crazy stuff,
You can remove
then
yourself.
acceptance will be gone real quick.
And that's where I am with you. Like, if you... Like, some people might consider you wild, but I just don't think they understand. Like, guys...
But you have to think,
I've been friends with her for 4 years.
Trying to sit down and really talk to me.
Right.
Versus us having fun or going to just a quick dinner or
Right.
like having fun.
Exactly.
There's a very few people, and I kind of like it like that. There's a very few people that really know my mind.
Like, I
Even
think
with
when you say
you're
your
private.
opinion... Yeah, you're very private, but also I'm just like... Overall, like, this is... Our friendship is the way it is because, like, we both know each other on a deeper level. I think when people look at it from the outside, they may say, why?
Why?
But they only know the surface.
They only know the surface.
And I'm literally running out of storage. But guess what, guys? This episode has been crazy. I hope we covered everything. You might be a recurring guest. Should you come back on?
I would love to be.
I think you should
I would
come
love to
back
be.
on.
I will say this. I'm so happy that you're doing this. And I remember when you would dabble. But the fact that now that you're really doing,
I know.
and you've made your goals, and I saw your mood board, and you're doing it. You know, your season is
crazy.
also manifestation personified.
Yeah.
Because what you've done
Trusting in God, honestly.
is coming together.
Yeah, that vision board, I literally didn't even want to post it. And then randomly I just posted it, and like so many people not only liked it, but was commenting and was like, wow.
Wow. But you know, I did that in private. And I don't think
And that's the
people
thing. I
understand.
didn't post it in the beginning of 2024. Like, this is my vision board.
No, you never do
I
that.
literally posted it at the end, and I was like, and the thing is, I like picked it up and I looked at it. I'm like, wow.
You know,
Like, there was a lot that I accomplished.
I'm a firm believer in being the gatekeeper.
Of
in
your own
terms
life.
Of your own life.
Yeah, you have to be.
And that's why I'm so private.
But I wasn't. I was so transparent. Like, oh, I'm an open book. Let me share the world. Let me share all these things. And it bites you.
It does.
Any last words, Rique?
I will say, you know, I want you all to look at me for who I am. I hear you, I see you, and at times I do agree with you. I'm not doing what I'm doing to mess up anyone's life. Of course, I want to support my own, but the biggest thing and lesson I've learned in the last decade is to really be cognizant of who's in your circle and who's pouring into you. Because those people that are pouring into you and truly want to see you win, when things took off for me, Shamaya didn't act shady. You didn't act like, oh, envious. It's very important that you recognize the snakes early on and keep your circle tight. I know a lot of you want huge friend groups, huge this and that. It's not worth it, because when you actually start really realizing your dreams.
Quality over quantity.
Quality over quantity. And that is the most important thing ever. And, you know, for my fans and my people, well, you know, we're all on the same page. And I don't even know how to say our slogan, because we're already about to do it January 20th. So I love you. And this is authentically me on Life as Maya.
On Life as Maya. I'm so glad you came so authentic.
I love this. Yeah, I don't want to lie.
episode.
I don't want to lie. You know, I feel like a lot of my life I had to like be quiet, be super, super private, be like, you know, I was raised like that. Like, oh my God, you don't tell what happened in the household.
Oh my God. Can I do a reel?
You can. That's like a very black household thing, I think.
What? Oh,
Don't
sweep,
say
sweep,
what's
sweep.
in the,
Don't
yeah,
say
sweep,
what.
sweep, sweep.
Sweep under that rug.
Yeah, but
don't
then
say
it was
what
making
you
me
mean.
crazy in the head.
And you just got out of there and said, I'm saying it all.
I'm saying, well, I'm like, who's gonna check me?
Oh, wait, before we leave.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of just did it. You did it. The last question is like, what would be your biggest piece of life advice?
Oh, okay. My biggest life advice.
Life advice?
Life advice.
My life advice.
Is honestly, bank on yourself, count on yourself, and when people say you're cocky, when people say you're this or that, don't believe them. It's the lack of confidence that they have that they're trying to project on you. Own
Very
who you
true.
are, stand firm in your beliefs. You will lose people around you, but I promise you, they'll come back when you've made it. And I see it every day. And I'm not even at the top. So
Right. We haven't even got there yet.
We've not even got there yet. I think that's the biggest thing. And also, like, don't have that fake faith. Like, don't be like, oh yeah, I ask for this every night. Like, you need to pray. I get on my knees and pray, okay? And although I don't go to church every week, when I talk to the Lord, and I'm a very visual person, I have a lot of dreams. And I remember as a kid, I would have dreams of a lot of flashing lights and camera, like paparazzi.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm serious.
I love that.
And my hand on the Bible. I knew that if I did the steps,
You would be somewhere.
I would be somewhere. So that's why my favorite saying is pray, but move your feet. Do the work along with
I love
your
that.
prayers.
I actually really love that. Pray, but
That's
move
my
your feet.
favorite.
That's great advice. I don't
Oh my
actually
God, let's
have
do one
anything-
last cheers.
Great. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. And like, I do want to cry, but I can't let them see me tear up.
No,
I'm going
you
to cry
can't.
as soon as you turn the camera off.
Oh, really?
Because I feel honored. And so many fake foes. And also, I want to say,
really
I
made
kind
it.
of want to interview you one day on your own channel.
Oh my God, can someone do that?
No, can I do it, please? Because I kind of want to ask you, like, how does it feel to have someone try to imitate your life?
You're that. And on that note, guys,
Someone else-
if you haven't already,
Wait, can I
leave
say
a
it with
like, leave a comment.
you? Like, subscribe.
Okay, let's do that. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
All right,
Like-
guys.
Oh.
We're going to say, all right, guys. Then like, comment,
Okay.
subscribe. All right, guys.
All right, guys.
Like,
comment, and subscribe. And send that Venmo, Cash App, Apple Pay, or PayPal to my
Please,
dear
YouTube,
friend.
can you monetize me
Oh,
already?
and Sprite, you should be sponsoring this. I'm telling you that right now.
I know, please bring
Oh,
our
and collusions of my hat.
Right.
North Face Skims.
Kim.
Kim, give us a sponsorship.
Come on, Kim. All right, guys. I will see you on the next video.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Me can't focus on